Alright, so we got the moon about to slide its ass right in that motherfucking Pisces. And of course, when the moon get into Pisces, it exalts hair. So that means you may go to the extremes when it comes to the emphasis of your dreams, your fantasies, illusions, imagination, of course, your idealisms about things, and of course, trying to find the peak meaning and reasoning when it comes to your intuition, your imagination, your spirituality. Now this is going to be into a position where Neptune is also in Pisces. So of course you may go to the extremes in these areas when it comes to your fantasizing your dreams. But of course you're going to be dreaming and experiencing the seeds you planted. And of course, depending on what seeds you planted, these can be dirty seeds or fulfillment seeds, aka bad dreams or good dreams. Good dreams is you're aware, you know what's going on. Of course, you're loving this city scenery. Bad dreams is learning from mistakes, which means you got to learn. But of course, every day is a learning process. There's always highs and lows. But of course, as long as you get high, the low won't be too low and it won't be too stagnant. But now this is going to be opposition towards Neptune and the Sun. So that means you got to use a little bit of details, use a little bit of practicality, use a little bit of make it make sense when it comes to your dreams and how you see things in reality. See, this is going to be differences too. You might get very lazy in this perspective where you may not act on the gift that's going to be out there in the sky for you to basically act on, which means you could be very sluggish too. And of course, we only got one more moon, and then once the moon get into Aries, we're going to have a full moon, and of course we're going to have a Libra season here. So just like that, Virgo season is in the naps. So when you fully into this shit, you don't really look at the months or shit the same. Like, everything is pretty much different. Like, the whole aspect of the whole thing is different. Like, everything is predicated towards you making a big bowl of wax, and of course making sure that motherfucking wane after you put in your wax. But of course you gotta wax that seed. You gotta make sure that seed is nurtured, cared for, so this can basically blend into the emphasis and manifestations that you're basically trying to ride on the shift with. This way you won't be having a situation of trying to build an arc and you have your own arc. And of course you'll be placing a name on your arc and not riding no arc, riding somebody else's cock, which means you ain't got your own cock to ride on or your own pussy to stand on. Real shit. But we're gonna get into these energies. Wherever you got Pisces at in your charts, these are areas where you need to be selfish. These are areas where you need to dream, fantasize, and of course, react and respond. Now, also on the flip side, there can be personal illusions, situations that you're basically dealing with, and also you could be taken advantage of in these areas by a person, place, or thing. Which means that you may think everything was cool in the beginning, but later down the end is a wolf in sheep clothing. So yeah, be aware of that shit. But let's get into the first house. If you have Pisces in your first house, you're going to be going through personal affairs, personal dreams, and personal illusions with a person, place, or thing. Now, these personal dreams and the personal illusions can get fulfilled if you planted good seeds when the moon was in Aquarius, when it was waxing in Aquarius. Now, if you planted bad seeds, you're going to experience personality and personal affairs of individuals needing something from you, deceiving you, or using you. Now, be aware of these individuals. 10 times out of 10, you should have known to cut these individuals off when this pretty much started to become a burden or a routine. You gotta fight for your cause. And of course, you gotta know the difference between balancing out the scales and weighing the scales at this perspective. And of course, if you use a little bit of little details with the Virgo, analyze, and of course, how you relate to a person, place, or thing, you'll be out in this area. Or this can be you on the flip side. But bring balance when it comes to your personality and your dreams and fantasies and affairs. You'll be out in this area. Now, if you got this in the second house, you may overindulge and go to the extremes over the things you value. And of course, what you relate to and compromise with. See, in this situation right here, you can do all that shit. But if you're not in the dark about things or putting the emphasis and actually visualizing and of course taking the actual steps to being practical towards that desire, and if your desires are all over the place and you're not basically building a foundation on one desire at a time, where you can basically be able to build, and of course you can be all over the place for me. But the practicality takes key in this perspective. So you gotta have an internal desire, internal passion about these areas. Look at the details of your desires and you'll be alright. Now, if you have Pisces in the third house, it don't even fuck with this house. So you may put yourself into situations of being scattered in your environment or attracting scattered individuals in your environment. Also, it's going to put you into situations of painful situations and setbacks if you plant the bad seeds. Learn how to focus on one thing at a time when it comes to your surroundings in this area, feel me? Because you could be basically putting all your eggs in one basket when it comes to your environmental stance and, of course, the familiarity that you relate to on a day-to-day basis. So be aware of this area. Try not to put yourself into situations of getting too scattered when it comes to your surroundings, feel me? Try to like be a little bit more, think bigger in this perspective. Bring a little bit more balance to equilibrium. Think big and care about shit that's have a big purpose, and you'll be in this area. But you can pretty much put yourself into an illusion when it comes to your environment and things of that matter. So be aware of that. Now, if you got Pisces in the fourth house, you're gonna go to the extremes when it comes to privacy, home, and family. These can be illusions. Family can be illusion. Your privacy can be illusion, and things of that matter. Family. You also put yourself into situations having setbacks or harshness and shit like that, feel me? Carrying family members' burdens and shit like that. Or just putting yourself into karmic death, feel me? Or try to pretty much get focused on your status and your career and try not to put too much emphasis on dreaming about home and family and you'll be in this area. Now, if you got this in your fifth house, you're pretty much going to be dreaming and fantasizing about your creativity and, of course, your hobbies. This is going to be a situation where that's cool and everything, but you may be very passive in this area where when it comes to your creativity and your creative endeavors, you can basically be just settling for certain things, dealing with certain illusions or inner illusions. I mean, this be the perspective where you're a God, you got the power within inside you, but of course you're not willing to basically take the further steps to basically get that shit shown or basically flourished on. So yeah, you need to take some steps, feel me? Try not to get too lazy in this area, and of course take advantage of your creative gifts. Because you may have some shit where you was actually good in the past life, but you may be rich in this past time, in this lifetime that you in. But of course, you may have not put yourself into the situations of basically showing your true and depth. Feel me? That money shit don't mean nothing if you ain't got a gift or if you ain't got a talent. Feel me? 10 times out of 10, you could be born into a rich family, but of course they put a whole lot of burdens and emphasis on your ass, almost to the point that you can't withstand these shits. And of course, everything came easily to you. But of course, when it's time to work and get your ass out there in the paint and get your nails and feet dirty, it's a different stance on shit. So yeah, be aware of that. Also, if you got Pisces in the sixth house, under no circumstances, it does not fuck with this house. So you're gonna put yourself into situations of dealing with illusions when it comes to your duties, your work routine, your health, and your ethics. You can put yourself into situations of dealing with struggles. But of course, these struggles can help you or make you or break you. But of course, it's going to help you. Feel me? But you're going to be very good at helping individuals, wording your details. And of course, what you need to do here in this area is get a little bit more into your dreams and your imaginations and fantasies. And I'll skip the fifth house. Fifth house, what you need to do is get out there into the public and stop hiding your gift. Sixth house, you need to basically focus more on your dreams, imaginations, and how you can fantasize. Of course, you have all the practicality in order to make it make sense perspectives, but you may overthink it to be too goddamn logical, almost to the point that you ain't putting your dreams or your fantasies or your intuition towards shit that really actually truly matters in life, which means you got to have the balance. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket in this brain, but of course lack this side. For me, you got to see you on the full spectrum of things. Make it a 360, not a 180, and you'll be all right. Also, if you got Pisces in the seventh house, you're going to fucking over it. Or you're going to go to the extremes of wiping ass, kissing ass, bending over backwards 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, almost to the point that you're going to get lost into an illusion when it comes to your partnerships and your relationships and shit like that, for me. This also puts you into situations of becoming a burden to a person, too. Sadness, setbacks, and shit like that. I mean, you may fuck around and just lose yourself because you ain't got no creative endeavors going towards you. You just emphasizing too much on someone that you're trying to relate and partnerize with. Try not to do too much of that, and you'll be in this area. Now, what you need to do is try to be more selfish. Focus more on yourself. For me, put more details towards your personality and your personal affairs with yourself, and you'll be in this area. But it's gonna be very hard because But this position is exalted in this house. You may go to the extremes of partnerships, try not to do so much of that. 8th house, you're gonna go to the extreme emphasis when it comes to dreams and illusions of your desires and shit. But you need to plant good seeds. If you're planting good seeds, you ain't gonna have no issues here. If you're planting bad seeds, you're gonna be basically putting burdens, pointing the fingers at individuals and your and the things you value or your desires and shit. You're gonna be pointing hands here. What you need to do is take the practical perspectives, take the practical course, and get out there and be a little bit more stable. Try not to be putting a finger or blaming fingers on everybody. Everybody ain't the cause of your setbacks. For me, the state of being you was, the state of awareness you are in. This is what you create. This is who you're being born into as family wise. So get a little bit more practical. Get a little bit more down to earth, and you'll be out in this area. If you got Neptune, I'm bugging. If you got Pisces in the 9th house, you're gonna be having illusions when it comes to your experiences. Now, these could be good illusions or bad illusions. See, you could be very doubtful. You could be a doubting Thomas in this area due to your failures and setbacks and shit like that. Colleagues may not have supported you, or people, places, and things that you wanted to share career status with doesn't support you. This could also put you into situations of having suicidal thoughts. Try not to get too deep in that area and shit, and you'll be alright, because it's the other side of your exaltation. But what you need to basically do, love yourself, nurture yourself, care for yourself, and of course, be connected to family and home. I'm bugging. What the fuck am I talking about? With this house, with this positioning right here, what you need to do is focus on your surroundings. Because focus on your surroundings, and then you can basically look at the bigger picture. But what you need to basically do here is focus on taking care of home first before you start basically jumping off the porch. You feel me? Know that you have all the keys that you need in your surroundings. You may not even have to basically go too far. All you need to do is basically have a little bit of faith and courage, and you'll be all right in this area. Feel me? Try not to be a doubting Thomas. Try not to be too strict or restrictive when it comes to your personality. Express these things, and you'll be all right. Bring love to the situation. Now, if you got this Pisces in your 10th house, you're going to be over dreaming and fantasizing about your career and your status, feel me? But what needs light is hard work, dedication, passion, feel me? Put a little bit more practicality and take care of your responsibilities, and you'll be out in this area. But you already know this, though. Parents probably was on your ass about it, too. But this is what you need to do. And, of course, you need to focus on nurturing and caring your inner world first. Focusing on like home and family and matters of that. Family, make sure your home, your house clean before you basically put yourself out there. Once you got your home and your family and your home taken care of, you be out in this area. If you got Pisces in the 11th house, you're gonna have some illusions, good or bad, when it comes to the public. Now, depending on these situations, because this can play out into past trauma, situation that you may have dwelled with or brought in a past life, brought here. You could be very sidetracked or related to individuals or people out there in the public. What you need to basically do, focus on having heart and passion and being out there more into your creative endeavors, because you have a big gift that you need to basically put out there in the public. You shouldn't be hiding your gift, feel me? When you hide your gifts, these things don't get no motherfucking sunlight on it. And of course, when something is sunlight, it's hard to see you in the dark, because like, what's going on? Feel me? You always hiding. Come on, the light, you be right. Now, last but not least, Pisces, aka 12th house. Now, if you got this in your 12th house, you see the power is here with you. The power is with you, but you could be very lazy in this position. What you need to basically do is take your power back. Feel me? Feel me? Take your power back, because you may be basically sleeping and lacking on your power. Sleeping on a goddamn day, want to dream on a goddamn day, want to fantasize on a goddamn day, want to smoke weed and smoke pot and heroin on a goddamn day, but you ain't basically using your creativity or your talents and shit. Feel me? That's what you need to basically do, feel me? Solitude, but of course a deep, passionate mind will basically bring you out of the mundane and put you into the more perspective of catering towards your dreams. And of course, you can have many talents, many dreams, but how will you know, or we know, if you keep goddamn getting lost into, oh, I need to do this, I need to make sure this is right. What you need to do is basically bring a little bit more practicality into the situation and stop fucking fantasizing your goddamn dreams. And you'll be out in this situation. And that's how it's going to play out for Pisces in your houses. But be aware. You'll be in for a scare. goosebumps type shit.